Welcome to today's deep dive. I want you to imagine, just for a second, condensing the entire meaning of life, the secret to happiness, and the absolute definition of success into just 3 sentences.
Right, which sounds completely impossible.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But today, we are opening this tiny file called 4e.docs that claims to do exactly that.
It's fascinating.
It is. We're bypassing all those hundreds of pages of dense existential dread you'd normally expect when you ask these massive questions.
And what's wild is that these 3 brief notes, they actually construct a surprisingly complete framework for you. Like it's a 2-part blueprint.
Okay, a 2-part blueprint. Walk us through that.
Well, it gives you a guide for how to internally experience the present moment and then,
Yeah.
how to externally architect the future.
Yeah, I love that framing. So
Yeah.
let's look at the present first. The text jumps right in and defines the daily human experience by calling life this precious gift.
Right.
And it demands that we live it with joy, gratitude, and purpose. It explicitly states that true happiness comes from enjoying life with a peaceful heart.
Which, let's be honest, peaceful heart sounds a bit like a cliche from a motivational poster.
It totally does, on the surface anyway. But let's look at the actual mechanism here. I like to think of a peaceful heart like a pair of high-end noise-canceling headphones.
Oh, okay. I like where this is going.
Yeah, because they don't magically silence the chaotic, stressful environment around you, right? Instead, they actively produce an inverse frequency.
Right, to neutralize the ambient noise.
Exactly. And in this case, that inverse frequency is gratitude. It neutralizes the stress before it ever even reaches your core.
And that active neutralization is really the entire point of the first section. The text strips away this modern assumption we all have.
You mean the idea that happiness is a milestone?
Yeah, exactly. The assumption that happiness is a material milestone to be acquired down the road, like a promotion, a house, a specific bank balance.
Right, something we just keep chasing.
But this frames happiness as an active, internal choice to celebrate life right now. The psychological mechanism at play here is cognitive framing.
So by actively choosing gratitude, you literally rewire how your brain processes the current moment.
It does. It prevents you from constantly deferring your happiness to some future achievement.
Okay, but you can't just sit around in noise-canceling bliss forever. I mean, gratitude alone doesn't sustain a functioning society.
No, it definitely doesn't.
So if the present is entirely about maintaining this internal peace, how does this document suggest we handle the concrete demands of the future?
Well, the text makes a hard pivot there. If happiness is the internal present, success is strictly defined as the external future.
External future. Okay, how so?
The mandate is to practice good values today, to leave a legacy of kindness, aiming to create a brighter future for generations to come.
I have to say, I struggle with this definition of success a bit.
Why is that?
If success is just planting seeds of good character, doesn't that sort of ignore the reality of basic survival?
That's a fair question.
Like, how can a person realistically focus on abstract legacies for a generation they won't even meet if they are currently struggling to pay rent, or just keep their head above water?
Right, but the document is deliberately challenging that modern survival metric. It treats character not as a personal moral luxury, but as the literal physical infrastructure of tomorrow.
Wait, physical infrastructure?
Yeah, so when you are stressed about rent, the way you treat the person next to you in the middle of that stress, that is the seed.
Oh, I see.
It is an observable behavior. And that gets replicated by those around you, particularly younger generations.
So nurturing good values isn't just about being a good person in a vacuum.
Exactly. It's an active mechanism for building societal resilience.
Hmm.
The character you exhibit today is quite literally the architecture for tomorrow's society.
Wow. It completely shifts success from accumulation to cultivation. Society tells you success is what you hoard before you die.
Right.
But this file argues success is the infrastructure you leave growing after you're gone.
To synthesize this for you, the listener, the text is demanding a radical, almost paradoxical balance across time.
A balance of the present and future.
Right. You are tasked with maintaining rigorous internal peace for yourself today, while simultaneously executing outward acts of kindness to build a future you may never actually see.
The internal experience of the present balanced against the external construction of the future.
It's a heavy mandate.
It really is. The text states unequivocally that success is planting the seeds of good character. So, looking back at your own actions from this past week, what specific seed of character did you plant, and what exactly will it grow into for the next generation?